Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the People's Voice. I am Trey Evans, and I am the People's Voice. Thank you again for checking out the podcast this week. As always, it is greatly appreciated. As always, we thank everyone who has taken some time to listen to the podcast today. We do understand that you could be utilizing that time to do something else, so we are appreciative that you taking that opportunity and spending that time with us. As always, if this information is valuable, you feel it to be enlightening and worth sharing, I ask that you subscribe to the podcast. That way, you'll be notified when each episode is released. Also, turn on notifications. We put out a new episode each and every Friday, which is heard anywhere you do receive podcasts. Anywhere you do receive podcasts, and then we also put a video out on YouTube every Wednesday as well. I'm going to narrow down that time, but I'll make that announcement once I do. I know we kind of been all over the place on Wednesdays, but I want to be more consistent in terms of the time that video hits. But in any event, subscribe there at the YouTube as well. But as always, we say welcome and welcome to the People's Voice podcast. So today I'm going to get into a topic that I am sure is going to set people back a little bit, but all I can ask is just hear me out. Just hear me out, okay? So today, what I want to talk about is jury duty, okay? I know when I say jury duty, people already just... But I'm talking about not just jury duty and serving, but I want to talk about specifically about the opportunity, or at least what's being proposed for individuals that have been convicted of a crime, served their time, and then them having the ability to serve on jury duties today. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about jury duty and individuals serving on juries that have been convicted of crimes, have done their time, and now should they be eligible to serve on juries. I bring this up because I was reading an article from the Legal Defense Fund. And in this article, they talked about, the article was surrounding racism in courtroom procedures and wrongful convictions and mass incarceration. And in it, it details, several facts about, the lopsidedness of juries here in the United States, specifically, that there not only are more not only are there more individuals who serve on juries that are not people of color, but also the fact that even when people of color could possibly be eligible or are eligible, they're being dismissed from actually serving. So, there's obviously two different structures in the jury duty process, right? First, you receive a summons, you have to answer the summons, and then you come down, and then if you're chosen, you go in front of the judge or the district attorney, or however the jury selection is made in a particular state, and then you get to serve on a jury. Well, in this article here on the Legal Defense Fund, they talked about a case in particular down in Mississippi where the district attorney at the time, Doug Evans, he basically had demonstrated a pattern of striking down or removing black jurors, it says 4.4 times more frequently than white jurors over the course of nearly his 30-year career. It says, and then it goes on to talk about a case down in Mississippi where a defendant named Curtis Flowers faced 6 trials for the same charge. And each time it resulted in a hung jury or reverse conviction due to a prosecutorial misconduct. And during those 6 trials, it says Evans removed 41 of 42 black jurors and struck them 20 times more frequently than white jurors, which kind of repeats the previous statistic. But it was this article that made me go, well, wow, that's, the fact that there were people of color who answered the summons, came down, and then did not get an opportunity to serve on the jury, not only speaks to why, this individual case had 6 trials for the same charge, right? Because you're not dealing with a diverse jury pool, and it does make a difference. But in addition, I wanted to understand kind of, wow, well, he must be down in this district. They must be getting a flood of jurors that they can just, dismiss this many people, especially for this district attorney who did this over his 30-year career. So in any event, I looked into 2 things. Number one, I wanted to find out, well, what are Mississippi laws in terms of selecting jurors who have had criminal backgrounds? And I bring this up because it is historically already documented, so I don't have to go through the numbers, but in the United States, people of color have higher incarceration rates. Then when you couple that with the fact that in this country, people of color are the minority, and if you have a conviction, especially a felony conviction, you cannot serve on a jury, it kind of opens it up and explains a little bit more of why jury pools lack so much diversity. And, it also, on top of that, you can throw on, the reasons as well that people use that they don't even answer the summons, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But this case in particular, I think, highlights not only part of the issue with the lack of diversity in jury selection, but then also, in my opinion, lends towards the argument a little bit in terms of considering those who have been convicted of crimes, serve their time, allowing them to become jurors. So let's talk a little bit about the numbers, because y'all know
men lie, women lie, the numbers don't.
So I pulled up a study from, well, let me go into the first one. So the first one that I pulled up was from the, where is this from? This is from the court administration. I just want to make sure I got it correctly. This is from the Conference of State Court Administrators. And they recently did a study that they put out on responding to the needs of the 21st century juror. Because there are studies and, a lot of case analysis that's going into how can jury pools be improved, not only from a number of respondees, but also from a diversity standpoint. So in any event, in this report, they report that 14.4 million Americans are summoned annually for jury duty, which, if you're talking about 330 million, you probably 14% is somewhere like 40, 42, 41 million. Don't hold me to that math. But they say 14.4 million Americans are summoned for jury duty each year, and approximately 11 million individuals report for jury service each year. Now, again, these are the individuals that report. This is not saying who served. But in any event, if 14% of your population is actually being summoned and only 11 million actually report for jury service, that automatically has a very low, again, this is opinion, a very low room for error or judgment, because it's not like you're having 50% of the population. I mean, these are pretty low numbers when you're considering the total population of the United States. Secondly, I read another study from, where is this from? This is from the National Judicial College. And on this study, in this survey, the National Judicial College sent out a survey to the majority, it says, of trial judges, which happen to be alumni of the National Judicial College. In any event, this survey, it was noted that out of 209 responses, these trial judges are saying that they have seen an increase in the number of people ignoring summonses. So you have two issues. Obviously, you have lack of diversity, and then now you're seeing an increasing number of people not even responding to the summons, which then lends again to jury pools that most likely will have a lack of diversity. Why does this matter, right? I'm doing all of this talking. Why does this matter? Well, going back to my original point, if the majority of people that are incarcerated in the United States are people of color, and I don't have the percentages of the number of cases that go to jury trial versus judge trial and things of that nature, but just basic common sense tells you that if the number of people who are incarcerated are people of color and they're not being judged by their peers, which is what the public jury selection pool process was set up to be, right? You're supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers. Well, there has to be some underlying bias in that when you're making a judgment of somebody who does not look like you. And no matter how liberal an individual is, no matter how, people orientated, we love all people, the association that you have with someone who not only looks like you, but you have familiarity with, goes a long way. Now, let me switch over to where we are today. So you have a number of states that currently do not allow individuals that have convictions, specifically felony convictions, but in some states, even those who have been charged with misdemeanors, have served their time or paid their fine, they cannot participate in the jury process. Why is this important? Well, for instance, in New Jersey is pushing for legislation to have the ability of individuals who have had not only misdemeanors, but also felonies serve their time. They are pushing to allow them to participate in the jury process. And matter of fact, let me play this piece from New Jersey News because they highlighted this. So I want to play that, and then I'll talk a little bit about some of the states that do not allow for individuals with felonies or misdemeanors to participate. So in Jersey, they're pushing to allow individuals, again, that have had convictions and served their time to participate in jury, at least being served for jury, and then going through the process of whether or not they're going to be selected. This is Emily Schwartz, who the senior counsel for the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice. And she talked about this on New Jersey Spotlight News. So let me play this, and then I'll follow up with the states and then close out from there. So.
Currently in New Jersey, we have a lifetime ban for jury service eligibility for anyone with a prior conviction. And what that amounts to is about 7% of the entire New Jersey population, but also 23 to 29% of all Black New Jerseyans can never serve on a jury.
Emily Schwartz at the New Jersey Institute.
And so, as you heard there, over 20% of Black and brown people would not be able to serve on a jury in Jersey because they have a conviction on their record. That really limits a number of people that can serve on a jury, and then also affects the amount of diversity. I wanted to play one more piece from this gentleman who talked about this, and I believe he was, he served his time and also wanted to participate in this. So let me just play this. I don't have his name. That's what I was looking for. Let me play this piece, and then I'll follow up and close out from there. So
that they are back in our community.
Either what we're doing in our Department of Corrections is working or it isn't. And if it isn't working, why are we still funding it? Right? Are people coming back, coming home, rehabilitated, ready to re-engage, and that have transformed their life or done the work to transform their lives to get back into society and to participate in every phase of it? Civic engagement is a critical component.
Antone Henshaw was convicted of homicide 3 months after his 18th birthday in 1989. He served 30 years in prison and since his release launched the Transformative Justice Initiative.
So if we're always going to begin at that moment, I've never had a criminal past before then, since then, served 30 years. I'm home, I'm doing well, I'm flourishing, I'm helping people. I graduate with my master's degree in a couple of weeks. Like, when do I get to be a human being, and when do I have to stop answering for something that happened 36 years ago?
I think that's I'm sorry.
Always made to answer for the worst thing that ever happened in my life.
And that is the argument that many in his position are making, that, hey, I've served my time, I've rehabilitated, the process worked. Why could I not be reassigned the rights of all citizens? And that includes being able to participate in jury duty. Before I close out, just wanted to highlight states that currently have similar laws to Jersey. You have first of all, you have, there's different forms, but in 5 states, you have similar laws to what Jersey has. That's Maryland, or I should say 4 states: Maryland, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Texas, and including Jersey. In these 5 states, not only can you not participate in jury duty if you have a past felony conviction, but even if you have some past misdemeanor convictions, you can't participate in the jury process. And then you have other states where you cannot, participate if you've had a felony conviction. Of course, this is time served. You cannot participate at all. And that is in, probably about almost 10 plus states. I won't go through all of them, but New York, Kentucky, Mississippi, New Hampshire, and the list goes on. And I'll post this in the video. This is a study from Harvard. But I kind of wanted to highlight that today in terms of, this push to allow people with convictions to participate in juries. Me personally, I think if you served your time, and in this gentleman's case, as he just made this case, he's, rehabilitated. That was 30 years ago. He's going on to start an organization, about to obtain his master's degree. Like, at this point, what else does he have to do to, be able to participate in the process, especially when it's noted, based on some of the numbers that I read, that participation is already low and they're starting to see more and more pushback, or at least non-responses for individuals who are receiving summonses. All in all, it's about diversity and increasing participation and engagement in the process, which makes for a much better justice system, in my opinion. But, I'm for it. Of course, you can leave your opinion as well. If you want to contact me on any of the social media platforms, I'm at I am Trey Evans on all social media platforms. And then you could also reach us at the People's Voice Podcast on Instagram. The People's Voice Podcast on Instagram. But that's my time for today. So as always, dreams are not just for sleeping. Please wake up and live your dreams. My name is Trey Evans. the people's voice. Tell somebody about the dream. Salute.